I always think of the late 80s as the lamest of all times in culture. It seemed like the movies were no good, TV was terrible, the bands were awful.
Let's look at what was popular at the time. You bring up hair metal and boy bands have been brought up. That stuff sucks.
The whole hair metal thing, it wasn't, none of those bands were saying anything. It was all just about partying and, getting girls and living in mansions, and that's something that I could personally relate to.
And that was right around 1990, and that was the sea change, when all of a sudden you could see that an all-original band who was playing something totally unique had a shot at getting national attention. Before that, it just really didn't happen.
After, Nirvana broke and, alternative became big, then it sort of seemed like what we were doing, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that maybe, we could get signed and put out records and tour and make a go of it.
It was okay to be from Kansas in a grunge band. If we were going to be a hair metal band, I guess you had to be from LA.
Well, Lawrence to me has always been kind of the island of culture in a sea of non-culture.
Back in the day when I first came here, I described it, I used to tell people it was like the island of the Lotus Eaters. It was just a hippie town, and they didn't much care what everybody else was doing.
I could live pretty much, anywhere, and this is where I want to be.
The next Seattle, if Lawrence died, that would be on its tombstone. The next Seattle.
I think it was Newsweek that did the story of, looking for the next Seattle, and Lawrence was, one of the contenders for being the next Seattle.
Paw was playing at the Kansas Union Ballroom. Paw and Urge Overkill and Nirvana.
Somebody interviewed Cobain, what'd you think of Paw? And he made some comment, oh, they were great, So, and then the next thing Sir Cobain has anointed this band, and then the feeding frenzy started.
All of a sudden, everything flipped. Kind of seemingly overnight.
There was a stretch there. It was about 94. I remember we were counting. I think there were maybe 13 or 14 bands that had either major or high indie record deals at one time.
It was funny. It was funny. There was, I think if you YouTube search things, you can find like the local TV shows. We're down here at the Bottleneck where grunge music is broken big.
I remember when I was flipping through a bunch of photos, and there was a band called Mountain Clyde, and they were just a band that they were just a band that played around here at Capitol Records. And I just looked at it, and they'd sent the photo out because they'd signed them, and here's our update. And I just went, wow, this guy got signed at Capitol? Wow. They were just playing an open mic night like 2 months ago.
Everybody was kind of led to believe that, you could be even bigger than Nirvana. And, I was too young not to know that, well, no, probably not.